Hello everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the Sim Racing Online World Series. This race takes us to a beautiful France at Prenois Raceway. We are happy to be here today. It looks like it's going to be a great sunny day as we look at the schedule here. We will be having some interesting races today, but before we get too far ahead, I want to get a jump on and make a big thanks to our sponsor, Liberty Footwear, bringing this to us live every other Sunday for the rest of this series too. And don't forget, the historic series will be starting after this series. We'll have another great one. But Liberty Footwear, custom built footwear, built in America. You can give them a holler at their website, get them your sizes. They will build you your own custom shoes, ship them out to you. Really good deal. And make sure you tell them that Randy Merrick sent you. Randy is our local representative for Liberty, and he, as well as Merrick Farms, are part of the reason that we are able to do this week live. So there it is, and we are live coming to you in 1440. Don't forget to crank it up if you have the bandwidth. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my F1 expert. Woody is here today to tell us a little bit about these cars. Woody, what do you got to say about these things today?
Good evening, everybody. It's going to be very, very interesting. This track is tight, twisty, and these cars are going to have a hell of a job getting around here. So if you don't know about these cars, we run in the 1984 Formula One season. We are in the kind of the turning point between the engines turning from naturally aspirated to turbo cars. So it was just at the crossover point. People were wondering, are turbos worth it? So our drivers do have a turbo facility or a fuel mixture facility available to them in the cockpit. They can turn the engine up to full in quali and then turn it down maybe for the race. So we'll have a few people turning it up and down depending on where they are in the circuit. Now for tyres, they will have 3 compounds available to them. We won't have any wet weather today. It will be soft, medium and hard tyres, so it's completely up to the drivers what compound that they start on and what compound that they finish on. They don't have to pit at all, but we've heard from some of the drivers that tyre wear is a little bit of an issue. So we'll have to keep an eye on what compounds people are on and how fast they can go. So we're looking for some great strategy this evening, and I'm really looking forward to see what these drivers can put together. Over to you, Rob.
Yeah, we're looking, the forecast for today is completely clear. This is a beautiful day in France, so welcome to this. Look like 60% humidity, temps around 29, see consistently through the race, so we shouldn't see any weather like we did in the last few races. All right, well, let's get a look at what some of these guys are actually doing on track. See if we can get some times up there, have a good idea what kind of pace these guys are setting. You can see Lars Hagerman there. He has this is under a minute lap, 57.7. So this is going to be quick. And in fact, let's jump on board with Lars really quick and see. Well, we're not gonna. He is in the pit, so let's jump on jet with Freddie Hale. He is on track. Get a good look at this place. I mean, hills, turns, blind spot. It's kind of a sandy out lap, or wash. If you're off the track, you're going to be in that gravelly sand. It's going to be tough for these guys today. They have the one long main straight where they can open these babies up, and then it's kind of like hold on time with the elevation changes. You can kind of get a glimpse here what's going on as we are now on board with Freddie. As he comes around that onto that straight, you can see the power he's got there as he goes flying by. This big long straight, then it's going to be hard on the brakes for this right-hander. As you can see, it was a test there for him. It looks like Freddie is on the soft side. He did just put up the second fastest time, so good job there. Let's take a look at the standings, shall we? Get this view changed here. Find somebody that's on track. There we go. Okay, standings. Let's see. I'm bringing that up now. There we have it. So Lars Hegman and John Vandergeest, Philip Fischler are holding the top 3 spots. And you can see the point differential there. It's a little bit, Lars has a little bit of a lead over Vandergeest, but Vandergeest and Fischler are within a few points of each other, with Costas Kantosaurus just another handful of points behind, followed by Bjorn Hegman, Lars' brother, who is at 71 points. So there is a pretty good differential there, but you can see that top 10 until you get down to the 8th position. 7th maybe on down are a little spread out, but the top 6 are all within a few good races of each other. As you see in the background there, some cars having a yard sale as someone has just slammed it into the wall. So those are your season standings. And how's the point spread on this, Woody?
So it starts off with 40 for first, 36 for second, and 33 for third, I believe. And the points all go down to 23rd place. So I believe, looking at the amount of drivers we do have on track, I think everybody will score. And you don't have to do a minimum distance. So as long as you start the race, you will get a single point.
Nice. Nice. All right, with that said, we are about 3 minutes away from qualifying. Don't worry about the clock on top of the tower there. That is just the server leftover time. We are quali at the top of the hour, which by my clock is in about 3 minutes. So we'll see how that goes as we try to get ourselves together here. We did have a few technical difficulties getting started today. Our TeamSpeak was down. I had some PC issues, so we are grateful and very happy to be here right now, bringing you this live broadcast thanks to Liberty Footwear. So hopefully it will be a nice, exciting race and get ready for a qualification session.
So looking at the length of the race as well, we've got 79 laps for these drivers. Now this is very similar to Kyalami, where the circuit is under a minute. I didn't actually think that they were going this fast around Dijon, but under a minute they're going to be going hella fast. I don't expect too many passing opportunities between sectors 2 and 3, but the main straight could be where it's all at, so we'll see some slipstream battles down the main straight.
Yeah, we're looking at that now. It looks like Costas is heading into the pits. You kind of get a look at how treacherous pit entry is there. As you can see, Costas just lost it. Yeah, how you doing over there, Costas? So very tricky. I mean, you're coming down that high-speed straight. Also, there is no speed limit in this pit, so you can enter it as fast as you want. But as you got to look at Costas there, he had his issues. As you can see, Matej Descobelaire is also off track right now, so these guys are going to have to really, really pay attention and keep it together today with the way this circuit, the undulations and the hills, so I think there's a few blind spots too. I did a couple of, just reconnaissance laps to kind of get an idea, and it was tough, man. This is going to be a real good test for these guys as we look at Lorenzo Battini. Let's take a look at Moreno Puengala. Was his first race last time. He's in the Williams this race. I believe he did change manufacturers. Not sure about that. Woody would be able to fill us in on that.
And I believe that Bettini's this is his first round with us, so he's in top 7 in practice at the moment. I think we're switching over to quali.
Yeah. Oh, that was Bettini, right. I was looking at Bruno Pagolo. But here we go, into quali. So the qualification session is not private, which is good for us. We get to watch. So we will fix this up, give you the qualification box. You kind of get an idea who's who. See if I can cheat. They're waiting for the lights to turn green. And there is Lars Hegman heading out for his outlap. Good idea. So 15-minute session to see who can put up the fastest lap to give themselves the best position here for round 4. And that big lap we saw by Freddie Hell, he's coming out now. He did put that second fastest lap in practice, so we'll keep an eye on him this round. See if he can have some good luck today. We wish good luck to all of these drivers.
So it's our championship leader that wants some clear air coming out on track first. Don't want any aero wash from the car in front, just wants the first clean lap. It does look like our cars are getting a little bit of air coming over some of these crests.
I just noticed that.
It feels like a rally course more than a
Right.
course.
I agree. Like I said, the undulations and the different elevation changes are really going to make this interesting. See him blasting down as his first time lap is underway now as he heads into turn 1. Getting out of the way of a little traffic there. This part especially right here, that part of the loop, really treacherous. And then uphill again, as you can see, he's hard on the brakes. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Let's get a little steering wheel view here. And then you're into the left-hand section to get yourself out of that, and it's sort of like a snow cone part of the track. Or it appears to be giving you the finger there if you turn the track the other way. And then this high speed, it's almost a parabolic type of turn with elevations. As you see him coming out, let's see what kind of time he puts up. First time of quali is a 58.8, and then right behind him is a 58, or up above him is Mataj, puts a 58.5 right on top of him. So that was Mataj that just flew by right there, who did grab that top spot on lap 1. Robin Taylor also coming down hard. Costas Catazoris is about to cross. Let's see where this puts him as he brings it in. So he was not happy with that lap, apparently. Who else we got here?
Just switched to Robin Taylor. It looks like he's out of quali. He had an accident in turn 1. I think he might have got caught out with a lapped car. And I think this is Robin Taylor's first time out in the 4th round of this championship.
Yeah, he's usually pretty stable and steady in the other series, so perhaps he just couldn't make those. He is a teammate of Merrick, and I don't see, is Merrick in here today? Yeah, Randy's right there. Okay, Randy's out. In fact, there is Randy now with his corn-fed special. I love his paint job. This team, the MRG team, has some really good painters, which does consist of Freddie Hell, and I think Costas is there too. And again, Robin Taylor is teammate of another
Nick Westy.
Yeah, who is not here today. I don't see him.
He's usually in the other Lotus.
Yeah.
And I believe Robin Taylor is picking up the slack for Black Cat Motorsports today.
Correct. They could be bringing up some points for the team because they are very competitive and they are up in the team standing. So as we take a look at Randy here, see if I can get a good look at Randy's car.
The newcomer, Lorenzo Bettini, is put it up in 5th place. He's only 0.6 away from pole at the moment.
To get a good look at Randy's car, though. So let's get a look at Lorenzo. There he is in that blue and red livery. 5th place. Last lap wasn't so good, a 1.11, but he had a 59.2, put him up in the top 5. Where is Vandergeest, our host, in that beautiful red Ferrari once again? Had a really good race right up to the last 5 minutes of the race, where he really had a bad run on luck there. He has about a 1 minute flat with a .143 off on that lap. So Bjorn Hegman back on top of Mataj with a 58.5, 6.5 over a 58.598. So just we're talking 100ths of seconds. These guys are up separating. And what happened there? I just lost everybody. Are you still there, Woody?
Yeah, I believe we might just have had a server crash. Everyone has disappeared for me.
Correctamundo. I am in the same boat. Let's see. And I have no response. So, with that said, uh, while things get set up again here, let's see what else we can do. We can put on a little music and see if we can get this thing to restart. In the meantime, we
I think
will.
we must have jinxed it, perhaps.
Yeah, it's been a day of crazy bad luck, just PC wise for me anyway. But it seems things seem to sort themselves out in the end. And the fact that both of us are out, this could mean that the server has indeed crashed. So is anybody else on TeamSpeak in their channels? Yeah, I see all those guys. Let me jump down there really quick.
Channel switched.
Lads, did the server crash?
Yes, it did,
Oh,
Rab.
okay, cool. We are standing by. Let us know when you get it back up.
Okay.
Channel switched.
Yeah, it's confirmed the server has crashed. So now, for your broadcasting pleasure, you will get to watch us rejoin this server if indeed we get it to come up. Let me see if I can get to a screen without having to go to the desktop. Maybe we'll be lucky. I'm going to jump back here and jump over here. And as you can see on your screen now, the SRO GT Rev WSC Riverside Raceway is up for round 4. This will be historic with the historic Porsches. And what are the other cars that are going to be in this series, Woody? The next round.
Oh, so round 4 of the World Series is going to be it's actually a multi-class with Porsche. I believe the main class is Porsche 917K, and the other. I'm not sure of how many classes or how many manufacturers are in the bottom class, but we have things like Porsches, Chevrolets. I can't even name them all. There are so many. So it's still up for sign-ups. So if you head to simracingonline.co.uk, I'm sure it would be good to see you on track.
All right. Well, we're refreshing here. The historic Formula 2 server is back up, which is another series on opposite Sundays of this, I believe. I think, is that Ken Jagger's series? I think that's.
Yep, I'm actually competing in that one. It's not well attended at the moment. It would be nice for some more drivers, but our next round next week is at Monte Carlo, so I'm not looking forward to that.
I really, really enjoy Monte Carlo. I think Monte Carlo, yeah, like if you're in the Porsches or the small cars, it's really, really fun to be the one that can actually figure that thing out for 25, 35, 45 minutes without hitting the wall. It's a really good challenge. So I myself, as a driver, have had pretty good luck there because I'm not very fast, but I'm pretty stable. So I think that helps me at Monte Carlo, but very treacherous. All right, the server is up. I don't see anyone on it, but I am going to be the first. Let's see what happens here.
Looks like we are now working again, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. We just got to wait for some players to join. So, there we go. Aha.
Seem to be up and running again.
Yes. Let's get that. As the players file back in, things are refreshing here on my end. So we're about to get quali back underway. I'm thinking they probably might start it over again. In fact, I can jump down in
Yes.
there. I'll jump down.
Just pretend nothing happened. This is a complete refresh.
All right. Let's jump into the R Factor 2 channel.
Clarify fun.
So lads,
Again?
are we going
No.
to start quali over? Is that the plan?
Yeah, and if during the quali R Factor 2 again stops working, or in the first 15 minutes of the race, then my suggestion is to get everybody into an alternative track, one from the F188 list, and just roll with it. How does that sound?
That sounds great. As we are
Yeah.
live still, so yeah. Welcome to
Okay.
the broadcast, everybody. We're just trying to keep the flow going here. I can see there's about 11 guys on the server so far. So let's get everybody back in, and I'm going to jump back into the broadcast booth with Woody, and we look forward to the finishing of quali here. So let's get it rolling.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah. Yep, it's our Factor 2 things. These
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah.
All right.
If we have to do another track, we might lose some guys, and I hope the broadcast will still be worth your while.
Well, we're hanging out, so here we are.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
coming back in now.
Channel
Miles,
switched.
as you've seen from some of the onboard, it's a roller coaster, and our drivers in these cars have an absolute ball, I would imagine, going up and down these hills. The runoff is particularly wide, so they may get away with going off. But Rob, you've had a couple of laps around here. How do you find it?
Yes, I find it very difficult and very nail biting. You have the high speed straight. The thing is, to try to push on this track is you really have to draw the line, because you have to know where and when and if you can push in certain corners. So I guess you just need to get repetition under you with this.
And I mean, there's so many blind corners as well. Trying to stay close to somebody and make a pass must be
Yes.
very, very difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be
I mean,
hard.
I don't fancy my chances doing a fast car around here, but the slower cars, not so much.
Yeah, I was having a hard time, especially in that sector 1 to sector 2. As soon as you get out of sector 1, that whole sector 2 of that giant up and down finger, with the elevation changes, it's really tough. And here it is now. You can see it's blind as you go uphill, and then you're coming around, and then you have a left-hander right here, which kind of throws you off. It almost looks like it's going to go right, but it's left. You just have to memorize it. And then you're into this big right-hand parabolic, kind of with, as you can see, the bumps and the humps there. As like you mentioned earlier, these guys were getting some air. I think that they definitely are getting some air.
But there is a separate layout for maybe for some of the slower classes. The Grand Prix series always did the layout we're doing today with the hairpin, which is, as I said, it looks like a middle finger. But
Yeah.
in some of the other classes, they would, instead of going left at the bottom of the hill, they just go completely full throttle forwards. So it would be 50 seconds if they tried it in these cars, perhaps without that section. But
Yeah.
it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
I think the part you're talking about is right here. You can see the road on the right there. You can see where it comes in. Where if you just cut straight across the finger, they cut the finger completely out, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what series actually do that layout, because it's always been the hairpin added to Grand Prix, and I mean, the 1984-ish was the last time they did Formula One around here, because it moved to Paul Ricard after that. So it's a small circuit for what cars are on it.
Right.
So maybe it outgrew Formula One.
And I believe we're going to Paul Ricard next in this series, are we not?
No, we are not.
Okay, good.
We are heading to Monza for the 5th round.
Oh, that's right.
Which should be absolutely flat out. We'll be
There it is.
using the 90s layout, and in 4 weeks' time we'll be at Hockenheim, I believe, from memory. So heading to Germany.
There it is.
So slipstream battles will be pinnacle. Absolutely superb racing, I'm hoping for.
All right. Well, we've got 16 back in now. We're waiting for the tail enders. Now, I was down talking with Jean, Dave. What we're going to do is, as you were up here talking to yourself, unfortunately, if this quali fails, John's just going to put up a different track and see how many people can make it. He thinks it's something wrong with the track, maybe. So,
Possibly.
if it crashes again during quali, or if it within the first 15 minutes of the race, he's going to.
Maybe we will be heading to Port Ricard.
Right, there we go. That's a good idea. All right. So with that said, let's see. It's on track. There we go. Ale Mansurov. That his is that how you pronounce his name? Ale Mansurov. I don't remember him.
I'm always worried. That when we do the debriefs and things, people are like, facing the hands like, "How did you pronounce my name?" And we're like, "I'm just terribly sorry."
Right. I apologize.
We're doing our
in
best.
advance. All right. Are we moving? Perhaps we are going to quali now. Everybody has stopped. Oh, somebody else is going out. That is Ale going back out. But now remember, these guys are all on TeamSpeak on another channel, so they're giving themselves instructions. And we are just up here clueless as to what's going on. But Ale should be happy with getting some time in, as everybody else is in pits, just hanging out. Get a good idea. This is the end. Go ahead.
Oh, we are Shinoda Quali.
Yep.
If it's anything like 2 weeks ago, so 2 weeks ago was Imola, where we had strategy with wet weather. This time it's going to be completely dry. But the Imola was very similar to this track with the roller coaster nature of it. It's a lot longer. I think there's going to be very few places to pass, and I think it's going to get very busy in quali, like we saw from first try of quali. So getting out of the way of faster drivers is going to be very difficult.
Right, I agree. All right. Quali is back, and keep our fingers crossed that we can get through this session.
So I think it's Mate Daxdobler that's out first, son.
I believe you're right. He took the lead this time on his outlap. So as in real road racing and all kinds of racing, Formula One, they have all their engine and mechanical failures, but in sim racing, these are the kind of failures we have. Technical or a track just out of whack, and RF2 doing RF2 things, R Factor 2.
We have actually seen a few engine failures for these guys as well, so it's not just
right.
PC, it is actually car failures. We've seen a couple of guys go up in smoke, so they've got to be very careful with their gear changes.
I think it was
how they redline.
High Tree had a fire, and then who was it last week? It was
Paggiola, I believe. Bruno Paggiola.
Yeah.
It was not far from the end, I believe, and
you're right.
Just car was on fire.
He burst into flames. All right, as we are on board with Matej now, coming up to that little section, the left-hander right here. Costas is going to cross there, and he unwinds himself from this giant right-hander. He's purple and purple, but of course he is the first lap, so we will see what he puts up. A 59.2, very good, but followed right after him by Lars Hagman with a 58.6. So, and then Bjorn Hagman. So Robin Taylor again, keeping himself up in there as he just put up a nice lap of 59.7. As they all are starting to come across, let's see. Here comes Van der Geest. Very nice, puts himself up into fifth. And here comes Cantosaurus. And he jumps into second, right over Descabler. So pretty decent lap there for Costas. You can see he was purple in sectors 1 and 2, and then that third sector kind of got him a little bit. Bjorn now is going to cross.
0.005. I don't know what. Oh, we have some flames.
Oh.
Costas is on fire in turn 1.
Okay, he's in the pits now. I missed it. Darn it. All right. Here comes Freddie Hell. He was pretty quick in practice, and what does he do his first time lap? I guess it was his out lap.
We did see 57s in practice, so I believe that most guys are on soft tyres. There are a couple of people that decided to go with mediums, but yeah, 57s are the benchmark, I think. We may get there, we may not.
Right. All right. Who's currently in 12th is Labelle, crossing the line now from 12th, and does not improve. But Labelle is one of those on mediums, as well as your teammate, Ben Summers, is also on mediums.
Looks like Smythe was having a little bit of an off. He's actually taking the detour that we were explaining earlier.
I see that.
Forgot where the track's going.
See if he can find his way. There he goes. Hopefully they won't DQ him. Oh, he's missing some parts. He has no front end on that car, so that would explain his shortcut there. But he is trying to make his way back to the pits to continue this quali session, as it's still 10 minutes remaining. All right, so Vandergeest from 12th. Does he improve? He jumps to 11th, so one spot for Vandergeest. Fischler from 6th, staying in 6th. He's pulling it into the pits. And here comes Ben Summers now on a timed lap. Let's see where he puts himself. And he stays right where he is at 14th. But here comes Bjorn Hagman, and he is headed for the pit. So you guys might be coming in for fresh rubber. Lorenzo Bettini, a little bit off on his first 2 sectors, so I don't believe he's going to improve as he crosses the line. Who else is coming across? Here comes Matej back out from his... Holding on to that 3rd spot is Matej. As the leader, Hagman puts a 58.6. So not quite to the 57s yet, but you'll see. And Ale Manzurov, 15th. And Jones decided he doesn't usually qualify Jones, so he's staying in the bottom there. But that Contosaurus, where is he? Oh, he came in. There's a yellow. But he's out. Somebody's off. So Lorenzo comes across. Oh, he's pitting as well. All right.
So if you look at the pit entry as well, if you're unlucky enough to have the first grid spot or first pit spot, you're going to have to actually cut over the dirt to get in there. So I don't know who's the unlucky one that have got their pits right at the back of the garages in the order. But quick pit stop for Bettini, and out he goes again.
So Descabler took the pole away from Hagman by 0.142. As you can see, Lars there had a little bit of trouble in the last 2 sectors as he was yellow. But Matej now into sector 2. Let's jump on board with him and see where he's at. He's yellow in sector 1, so not going to improve there. Let's check on Fischler. He's green in sector 1, but not quite up to speed in sector 2. He's currently in 6th. Let's see if he can improve. Oh no. Oh, shoot. So, I don't want to say it. It was just a pause. And Fischler remains in 6th. And here comes Lars Hagman. He's purple in sector 2. And he puts himself on the pole. So Lars with a 58.3. They're getting closer to the 7s. He was purple in sector 2, green in 1 and 3, and that put him on temporary pole here. Here comes Robin Taylor with a little bit of traffic, perhaps given a tow. Currently in 5th, and he does not improve, but you can see the traffic there coming down. He was purple in sector 1 though, so good effort there. So the next one to cross, Pitchler from 6th, but 3rd place Bjorn Hegman, purple in the middle. Let's see what he can do. And he does take pole back with a 58.1. So just about ready to break into the 57s, I think, with about 6 minutes remaining. Plenty of time here with this under 1 minute lap. As we have Ben Summers having a little bit of trouble. Summers here. There he goes. So back on. 10th place Lorenzo. Bettini does not improve. So I would assume these guys are going to regroup and try to get it for the last segment here. As McCann coming across McCann. Challenging, but not improved. As Fitch now starts an outlap. Guys are having a little bit of traffic. I believe that is 5th and 7th position. Robin Taylor, who's on fire and burning. Robin Taylor. It's kind of glimpse of him. His car seemed to be melting into the fence as he was bursting into flames. As Bjorn now will be pitting 4 tires on the shore here. It's our leader coming into the pits. Jacob Smythe currently in 8th. And he also clean, so like I said, these guys are probably looking for the last push here for the last couple of minutes. 5 minutes remaining. Bettini's up in the 9th. But Scavallaire's coming through on a purple in sector 1. But he does not improve. As he's yellow in 2 and 3. I'm sure those slopes and hills might have got him. Stop very consistent. He's holding on to that 6th place, but he's not going anywhere with this lap as he is also. Take a look at the advantage. 12. Speed in the middle sector. Did he move up? He does not. He's 2 seconds off of that blistering pole pace. Ben Summers will come across for a time lap. See, that was his lap that he had an incident on, so that a little off pace since we got McCann coming back around. Purple in sector 1, green in sector 2. Just been bumping up. Let's see what happens. Wow. Because he goes into second. Hageman down. So we've got Bjorn Hageman, Escavaler, and Lars in the top 3. Dan Zara some half a second off. Jacob Smythe's going to cross the line on his out lap, so he's starting a fresh lap once we get down just in about 3.5 minutes remaining. Trying to keep tabs on who's where here. Well, 9th place Lorenzo Bettini is into the parabolic stage here of that right here. But he's yellow and yellow. Well, let's jump on with the match. Who purple in second 1. Challenge. He's yellow in second 2, though. He's lost a little bit of time there. And he is clean, so we will not see that. However, Lars Hagman, purple and green, pulls himself up. And he takes the space away from his brother, and Lars now has the pole. Just squeaking out of the 57s by 0.78. So, incredible times there. Plays still from a Pitchler, maintaining the system. Vandergeest has bumped himself up to 10th, but he is off on this lap as he comes through. No So let's see where Lars is now. He's yellow in sector 2. Where is second place Bjorn? He's on an outlap. Let's just follow Bjorn here on this lap from the cockpit. Get a good look at what this actually entails. What a hot lap in Prenois. We are with Bjorn. See, he's lost time. He's completely lost his wits there. So that was not the greatest lap to have observing. Here comes Mataz. Starts a fresh lap here as we are under 2 minutes with a minute 20 seconds remaining. We'll be on these guys. Also, it looks like Bjorn got himself back on track, so I don't know if he'll be able to have a competitive lap put in here. Lorenzo has ousted Vandergeest from that 10th spot and taken it himself. However, he was yellow, and Dean is calling it as we are under a minute to go. So we're into Vandergeest. Vandergeest is green in sector 1. See if we can get that spot track from Bettini. But in the meantime, let's check on Mataz because he is challenging purple and not so purple. Tags from third does not improve, so he's in third and he does not get husband. Lars on an outlap will not count. Vandergeest does not improve, so he's going to be starting 11th. The clock ticks down. Bjorn still has the shot here. He's purple in the middle. He's just went 2 tenths in sector 1, but down 1 tenth. And let's see what he can do. Challenging his brother here. And he does not improve, so the clock has run out. That is it. Starting order is set. And we will be ready to go. They're going to have about a 5-minute warm-up to catch themselves after that. That was some kind of quality. I'm telling you, those guys were really pushing it there at the end. We did not get to the 57s, though. Just missed it by, like, hundredths.
Yeah, my prediction is didn't come true, unfortunately.
We did see those times in practice, though, so. Yes, indeed. All right. So, round 4 so far. All the gremlins are out. We have switched it over to the 5+ minute warm-up. And we will see these guys probably going out with full tanks and their starting tire of choice to get themselves familiar with how that feels at this amazing circuit of crazy hills and valleys. 17 brave souls out here made it back from the first CTD. So, let's see what happens.
So I did listen to a few people talking about their tire choice, and they were talking about how abrasive this circuit is. There's definitely a few people that are going to go for the hard tire strategy because the tire wear is just too much, and I guess it's just the pace of the circuit. There's so many left-right chicanes. There's a big stopping point in that hairpin, so I'm guessing that it's a clockwise circuit, so the front left is probably going to be punished quite a lot. But we'll just have to see who's brave enough to maybe do something a little bit different. There is no refueling in these cars, so they take the fuel that they're going to finish the race with, and it's just a matter of how much they play with the fuel mixture during the race. So we may see people putting extra fuel in and going to the end of the race with full boost, but got to watch those engine temps.
Yeah, good point, Woody. Are they going to be playing with those the boost. Now, the car that I was in, I can't remember which one I got, but it only had 2 engine positions. It had 1 and 2 set up for the boost. I guess it's just fuel mapping, is it not?
Yeah, so quali mode obviously has, I think it's about 15 kph faster on the straight, but fuel economy is horrendous.
Okay.
And then you have race mode, which is the opposite. So it's good fuel economy, but you just don't have the top speed. So I'd imagine people are going to be twitching it around, maybe in sectors 2 and then leaving the main straight to turn the boost up and be untouchable. But we'll just have to see.
Yes, we will have to see. So the attention rate, man, these races, it's just hard to finish some of these, as we have seen in the past. These older Formula 1 cars are very, very they're tough to drive. Not like this. It's going to take everything these drivers have to win some out of them.
And I think we've seen from the first 3 rounds that if you just, keep out of trouble, you're going to get a good haul of points, because there's a lot of people that will push and push those engine temps in the hope of going a bit faster. But as we've seen from what you've dubbed the barbecues, there's been a few instances where cars have retired from just engine failure. So we'll have to see whether this track is particularly an engine breaker or not.
Right. So I have there's 3 drivers on the tops during this session. And of course, the graphics has changed, so now I can't see it all. But Ed Jones was one of them. It'll roll around again in a minute. But everybody else seemed to be on the lead except for the 3 drivers. So interesting choice. And I believe Jones, who will be starting from the back. There they are. It's Jones. Oh, both the Hegmans are on softs at this point in time, so that would tell me they're going to start this race on the softs.
It could be risky, but it might just be the faster way around. They perhaps being on the front row, they just want to get away and stay out of trouble.
Which is not a bad strategy here. I mean, like you said, I cannot see side by side in any place other than the main straight because it's going to be so tight. And then who's going to give way?
Exactly. The sectors 2 is going to be very, very difficult to even, follow, let alone pass. So these drivers have got to be patient, I think, and wait until the main straight to get a run.
All right, well, just 30 seconds remaining here. And Lars has put a pretty good time up there on the softs, but neither one of them are under the minute. They're just taking it easy. 102 seems to be the pace of warm-up here. As we are about ready to hear those most famous words in all of sim racing, back to Jian Kongji's original spaghetti code of R Factor 1, which really, well, we are riding on the shoulders of those legends with our sim racing today. Those guys just brought us what we have today, starting way back then. That R Factor 1 was really state of the art 20 years ago. If it's been 20.
I mean, it's amazing that we're still going, to be honest. This game came out in 2015, I believe. So
right.
We're still around. It's still going.
It is amazing indeed. All right, the clock is going to tick down, so let's get the starting order. First row, Lars, Bjorn, the Hegman brothers, and then Matej Descaballera, Kostas Kantazoris. Then we have Robin Taylor, Philip Kichler, Bruno Pagiola, Freddie Hell in the 8, as we might not be able to make this whole order until waiting for the bells. 9th is Jacob Smythe, Lorenzo Battini, John Vandergeest in 11th, and Randy Merrick in 12th. And there it is, Ale Masurov. There they go. We are ready to go green. And we are up, and somebody stalled. Somebody stalled in the top. Who was it? It was Costas. There's a giant pileup in the beginning there. Good heavens, what's going on here?
It looks like one of the Renaults. That looks like one of the front row that have.
Yeah, it was
come to a stop.
I think it was second. Whoever was in second, it was Smythe and Lars. Lars is out of this race. It's his brother Bjorn who's in the lead now. He's got the horse. It seemed like he did not start at all. His car, did he stall it on the grid? I have no idea how that happened, but we saw a similar in round 2, was it not, where they all had the bad start.
Yeah, it looks like these cars are hard to avoid when someone doesn't go, and this is championship ruining for Lars if he doesn't score.
Yeah, and
or at least
Silva
only scores one. He's the championship leader at the moment, so all of these drivers have now got the opportunity to pick up points on the leader and push themselves up the championship with only 2 rounds after this one.
Crazy business. As you see, they've tightened up. The top 5 guys are all having some good battles already here, all the way down to 8th. This is LaBelle and Merrick in 8th, chasing each other. As Bjorn jumps out to a little bit of a lead there. Holy smokes. That was a crazy start. I don't know what to make of it. Bring back map up for you guys.
The leader is off in a spun.
There goes Bjorn as Costas takes it. Regroup. Now he's got to get himself back on as he's coming out in 6th position. Here comes 7th and 8th. Ed Jones. They're coming right up on him. Ed Jones and Randy Merrick battling with Taylor also in tow. Not too far behind. So already in France has proven to be which crazy hunt here. Troublesome start as we've got some 1, 2, 3 cars out and we've got 2 cars in the pit. Pangola and Descabla are both in the pit. Looks like they both need repair. One is missing a wing, so check back with that as Merrick is putting pressure on Ed Jones for 7th position. Everybody else seems to be pretty spread out right now as they're in this sector 2. It's just gnarly section. It's just so treacherous in here. Wow.
So the strategy of Bjorn was to start on softs and I'm guessing to run away, but maybe the tyres just weren't giving him the grip that he wanted at the start, and it did look like he just ran wide and span on the gravel.
Yeah, on that turn there. And on that start, it was apparent that Lars never moved. His car never moved. And then, of course, he was hit from Smythe right behind him. And there was just wings and carnage. It was just carnage at that point. So, most unfortunate for those guys. We'll just see how it pans out. Matej back in the action. He comes out currently in 14th. He is getting lapped now by some of these top cars. Down to 9th position is still behind him. So he has been lapped by 7th and 8th at this point. But I think with Matej's pace, it won't be long until he can get a lap back from these guys if he holds on to it. Woo! That was dicey. He's coming out on cold tires. Wow. Bruno Pagiola in 13th just crossed the line. As the leader, Costas is just having a Sunday drive now. He's got a huge gap of 6 seconds on Fischler. So Fischler currently in 2nd. And the tightest battles right now is Taylor and Jones right here. Guys battle into that top 10 with Ben Summers holding that 10th spot, but he's a good 5 or so seconds back. So jumping up to 3rd here with Lorenzo Battini in 3rd place, with Freddie Hill not too far behind him. So this is a good race for the podium, and then right behind them is Vandergeest and Bjorn. Valker is off, who is challenging the Ferrari now. Oh, man. Back to this battle here. Robbins looking to the inside, and it looks like he's going to get that spot from Jones, and Jones probably just heaved way not to cause incident, realizing that he's a little bit quicker, but that was Merrick going off. As you saw Merrick right there catching the dirt, now he splits himself between Jones and Taylor. So as predicted, it's going to be hard to hold on to the tarmac here. These guys are getting out into that sand. Very crazy stuff.
I'm presuming that maybe there's not that much rubber put down on the circuit because we only had a short qualifying session and a short warm-up. So maybe these guys are suffering just from a lack of grip, or they're just misjudging the tire temperatures. But there's a lot of people that are pushing early on when they've got to think they've got 79 laps in total to do.
Right.
But Costas Genzouris is 2 seconds or 1 to 2 seconds faster than second place, so he's just streaking out in front.
Yeah. And he is on the mediums as well, isn't he?
So top 3 are on mediums. Freddie Hale's the only guy in the top 4 that's actually on hard tyres, but Bjorn Hagman is now up to 5th on softs.
We are on board with Freddie Hale right now. Down that straight. Gain anything with these softs in these turns, perhaps we might give him, but I don't see any advantage as he is following Lorenzo Mattini. And Lorenzo holding on to that final step of the podium as we are 7 laps into this race. So on my overlay here, it says this race is going to be 79 laps. Correct? Not 72. I thought it was 72.
Yeah, because the circuit is so short, we're going for, I think it's probably the biggest total of laps we've had so far. So 79 laps is a long way. But we're obviously going to be expecting a few people coming into the pits around lap 39, lap 40, perhaps.
Right. So here is Mataj down at 14. He is behind Sean Vandergeest in that Ferrari. As you can see, he is outpacing him. He's going to unlap himself. So he has unlapped himself up to 6th place now. As Vandergeest wisely just lets him go. He is not racing John. He's on a mission to get. I don't think there's a chance to get back in the lead lap. However, as you noted, it is a short lap, so if anybody's in the pit for any amount of time, and he goes off again, he's bursting himself into flame, and then that is going to be it for Mataj. Holy smokes, you saw it, folks, right before your very eyes in 1440p. Another barbecue taking Mataj Cavalier out of this race. He just got it all wrong in that tricky sector off camber, where it almost looks like there's sand on the road there. I don't know what kind of that visual you get there, but he just, you can see he snapped it. It looked like he had a tank slapper into the wall, bursting into flames. And that was it. Wow.
Maybe pushing a little bit too hard because he knew he was a lap down. And as you say, this is a very, very short lap. He probably did have the possibility of getting his lap back, but pushing just a little bit too hard with a distinct lack of grip and tire temperature, I think.
And unfortunately, we have another. Randy Merrick is out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 cars out now. Wow. Like I said, the attrition rate was going to be large at this track. It's just such a tough circuit for these cars. But meanwhile, the top 4, meaning that Costas is out on a different race, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all within the same zip code, and not too far behind is Bjorn. So here you see Bjorn in 5th. Not too far off of that battle for 3rd. So looking for him to close in on that. You can see the gap there as those other guys are in front of him there. And Freddie Hale bringing up the rear of that in 4th. Everybody else is pretty spread out at the moment as Costas is starting to hit lap traffic now. So getting through the 11th place car of Michael Labelle as he's planning his strategy to get by here.
I think if you listen to some of the cars as they go past the camera, you can sometimes hear perhaps banging off the limiter, pushing into the red line a bit. So I'd be interested to see who's going to survive this race in terms of engines, because I think some of them are pushing too hard. You don't want to change down the gears too fast, and you don't want to upshift too late either. So yes, the second, third, and fourth are getting very close indeed.
Right, as they come up on Michael Labelle, who we just watched get an off. He had that off there, as Pichler is now on the rear bumper of Labelle, looking for a way through, but this is not the place to get through. I'm telling you, they just need to be patient with this part of the track. He's looking for a way in, and this is just closing up this battle. They are all caught up now. Labelle's wisely moving out of the way to let the second, third, and fourth place cars through. And they all bunched it up, which makes for good racing for us on the broadcast side.
Yeah, it looks like there's only one line through those left-right corners, and it's very difficult for a lap car to move out the way. And there is a speed differential between the top guys and the guys down the back, so they've just got to be patient and not trip over themselves through that section.
Ele Mansurov here, who I think is a lap ahead of who's that chasing him? 11th place currently is Labelle. We know where he is. So Chen gets through. Ale looking for a way to get around. So that is the 12th place car of Bruno Penguela. That's who he is trying to get through, I believe, who's a lap down too. But meanwhile,
we have Labelle is in the pits.
Okay, we got lap traffic for the leader. But luckily for him, it caught him on the main straight where he can just get through. He has, that is LA right there. He is now behind as they head into this treacherous. I'm thinking that Sector 2 and Sector 3 are just treacherous. Or I guess 3 is not, because 3 is the parabolic with the straight. It's 1 and 2 that you just have to mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah, some of these guys got to have eyes in the back of their head, because there's only a certain amount of places that you can let a car by. And I think that the leader was able to get through one of the lap cars on the exit of turn 1, turn 2. So the lap cars have got to be very wary of who's coming up behind them. But with all these lifts and dips, it's very difficult to see how close a car is. So just got to see how easy it is to get past some of these lap cars with the faster guys coming through.
Recto, as we see now, Costas coming up on Bruno Penguela. But as you can see, he's not really gaining on him here. But to your point about the abrasiveness of this track, you can just hear these tires screaming for mercy. The great onboard view here with Costas. Oh, we've got some trouble up here. Who is this up ahead? The Ben Summers in 9th had a little bit of an issue there. There is Ben. As the leaders are closing, or the leader just got around Bruno will be next behind Ben Summers here. 6th and 7th, pretty decent battle here with Robin Taylor and John Vanderkees.
So this is Lotus versus Ferrari. John Vanderkees in the Ferrari and Robin Taylor in the Lotus Renault, I believe, back then. So John takes a really wide line in that hairpin. I think he lost a lot of time. And I think it's just have to see what kind of speed Robin has. Oh, and I've given him the commentator's curse.
No, get out of the bushes. He made it through the gravel. Holy smokes. As unfortunately, Freddie Hell has also just had to retire from this race. I saw him stuck on near the finger there. And that is most unfortunate. They're dwindling down. There's only a handful of drivers left, Woody.
I don't know. Do those tires have magnets on them or something? There's been a couple of people that have been attracted to them, so maybe it's a problem with target fixation. I don't know if you've had this problem where you're driving and if you look at the barrier, you're heading towards the barrier. You've got no option.
Right. So Bjorn Hegman trying to catch up to Lorenzo for a spot on the podium there. So Florida down the straight, and I did hear the limiter there. We are on board with Bjorn now. At about 10,000 revs. Quick downshift, 3 gears.
I mean, I always kind of cringe at the sound of it. You can hear it when it's banging off the limiter, and if we can probably see in the cockpit, if that red light comes on too much, then you're going to be damaging the engine or pushing up the engine temperatures. So people got to be very careful.
It appears that these two guys are catching Fischler, who is in second. So Lorenzo and Bjorn racing. We're closing that gap a little bit to second place, and meanwhile, 5th and 6th. Taylor and Vandergeest still having a pretty good battle here. So we've got some worthy things going on here between 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th.
So again, Robin Taylor's actually kept it together in the 3rd sector of this. So he's under the rear wing of John to see how much he can gain on the main straight.
Yeah, we are on board with him now. He's really, it looks like John got a really good launch though out of that turn. You can see he ran away a little bit. Let's see if Taylor's got anything for him down the straight here. Get any kind of a tow.
Didn't look like he closed an awful lot. I'm wondering whether John is playing the fuel efficiency game, turning the engine up on the main straight where drivers will be particularly vulnerable, so it can be a defense mechanism. So I wonder whether John's doing that, because as soon as he got onto the straight, he was away.
Yes, I think this is where he catches him, right here. In the finger. And then coming up to the lefty, Taylor's a little bit better in these tighter turns, I believe. He closes that gap up pretty tight, but then now they're into the final turn. And John just has such a good exit. Right here is where he seems to be able to outdrive him and pull away. But stayed with him pretty good this time. Could get a little bit of a tow. It's just not quite close enough.
I think you need to be within about 0.5, 0.6 of the car in front to even get a draft, but I think maybe Robin hasn't got the fuel strategy at the moment to be able to turn up the engine. But again, this is his first round. He's going to be getting used to these cars. So John has done all of the rounds 1, 2, and 3. So he's an experienced campaigner.
Oh, and you can just see Taylor just got it all wrong there, bounced off the curb, and that's going to give John a breath of fresh air. As Fischler now is in traffic. So second place car getting through, I believe that's is Mansurov. Hanging in there. 9th place. Did not really do any favors for Lorenzo and Bjorn, as it did not slow him down at all. So guys are probably hoping, as they are now approaching Lorenzo, Or I'm sorry, Ale.
I mean, it just seems like it's where you catch the lap cars that really slow you down. So if you catch them in Sector 2, then you really just have to wait. But if you catch them on the main straight, that's time gain.
Correct. So as we are 20 laps in, that podium, second and third, definitely in sights for Bjorn. He's currently in fourth. He does have a shot at that. Vandergeest in fifth, I'm afraid, is just too far back. He's almost a lap. He's only 51 seconds behind the leader. So he's 25 seconds behind fourth place.
So if we didn't mention it off the top, obviously these cars that we're running do have a certain amount of balance of performance. So they are matched together. It's not like real world where the McLarens would be out front and the lower teams would be out back. So every person has a chance to be up the front. It's just coincidence that the Renaults are in the hands of the people that are leading the championship at the moment.
Yeah, there is really good BOP with this mod. It's a brilliant mod. I mean, if you're into this historic F1, that this is a really nice mod. All right, so Ben Sumner's now finds himself in the midst of the battle as he is about to be lapped by the third and fourth place cars. Fischler got through, I believe, already. And he gives himself plenty of room and makes it easy for these guys who are battling. So I think Lorenzo Bettini's going to have his hands full with Bjorn Hagemann chasing him. We are on board with Bjorn now. He's coming up to that straight. Looks like Bjorn's going for the clean air. He's not even going for the toe. Pulling out of the... I did notice, though, with Bjorn that he does hit the red line on the straight. Where when we were following Costas, he was not redlining on the straight. So.
Yeah, I guess drivers, if they've not done a lot of setup work in traffic, then some of them may have not given enough headroom for being in the draft. So maybe Bjorn is worried about engine temperatures, perhaps. Following another car can heat up your engine quite a lot. So, or maybe he's just being patient.
I think let's check in with the tire whisperer, Ed Jones. Once again, as you can see, he's up in the top 10. He's in 7th place, and he's just having his own race. These guys will be catching up to him shortly, but for the meantime, he's got a pretty good gap. And here is 2nd place. Right there behind him is Fischler. So starting to close that gap.
Jones is one of the only other drivers that are on soft tyres. So Bjorn Hagemann and Ed Jones are the soft tyre runners, and John van der Geest, the only driver that's on hard tyres.
Interesting. Van der Geest. He's able to hold off Taylor with those hards. So could be going for a deep run with the hard tires and how long he can stay out there. Remember what happened to him last round? I think he was on the podium when he crashed. Or did he blow up? I can't remember.
I think we were quizzing about it on the discussions afterwards. There's a couple of drivers that actually had brake failures. Nick Westy was one of them near the end of the race. We didn't spot it on broadcast, but he had a brake failure a lap after John van der Geest. But coming into turn I think it was 3 at Imola, one of the fastest points of the circuit. He braked and his rear brakes exploded, which put him into the barrier.
Wow, that's good stuff. I wish we could have caught some of that. As we can see, this tight group here, the podium is for sale. But Bjorn showing how he got up onto the... He wasn't our pole sitter, was he? Wasn't his brother the pole sitter who crashed out? Or no, Bjorn was on pole.
I forget which now. It was one of them.
Yeah.
But Bjorn at the moment, I think he's third. Is he second or third in the championship? No, Bjorn is 5th in the championship.
Right? Okay. And 4th in this race, but he is caught Lorenzo Bettini. Now Bettini is going to have to do some of that driver stuff because he is well within the draft now. As you can see, he's redlining hard as he's closing, but just not going to be enough room as Lorenzo wisely takes the inside.
Just needed maybe a quarter more straight just to get past. He looked like he had enough straight line speed, but not quite enough over the car in front, or not a lot. No, the straight wasn't long enough.
Right. And I'm wondering if the boost came into play for that attempt.
We have had one retirement. Mansurov has retired out of 9th place.
Wow. We're halfway. Half the drivers are left.
So as we said in the build-up, just keeping it clean, and you're going to come away with some big points today.
So Lorenzo does a brilliant job in the short section in the twisties. He's improved his gap from last time. As you can see now, Bjorn is back a little bit further that lap. So.
And I think that this track as well, through sectors 2 and 3, there's probably a certain amount of aero wash if you're close to another car. So if you try and get under the rear wing, the understeer has got to be horrendous. So it's going to be maybe who makes a mistake around the sector 2, sector 3 areas. Pichler runs wide at that hairpin, but they're within a second of each other. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is going to be running to the end, I think.
Koch just making his way through Taylor, and Vandergeest will be next for the leader. As we can see, Taylor has closed that gap back up a little bit, so he's making headway on Vandergeest. But meanwhile, this battle back here for the podium, still that last step is up for grabs if Bjorns wants it.
Yeah, no need to go defensive this time around. It wasn't quite close enough, so... I mean, Bjorn we did see him have an off, and it didn't look like he span too much, so I don't think his tyres will be flat spotted, but again, we're not quite to half distance where we expect tyre stops, but all 3 of these guys, we've got Pichler in 2nd on mediums along with Bettini on mediums, and then we've got Bjorn Hagman behind on soft tyres, so some interesting strategies. That pit entrance is going to be an absolute nightmare.
I agree. It is such a tight, like you said, and if you have that first one, you're in the dirt. It's almost like a little chicane. Even at slow speeds, there's been giving the drivers trouble.
It reminds me a lot of Kyle Army, but Kyle Army you have to slow quite a lot to get into the pits, but this does have a vicious chicane that you've purposely got to slow down for, and I think that drivers have got to be very aware that if a driver comes off the last corner and goes to the right, then they are pitting.
Right along with Bjorn again, just keeping the pressure on Lorenzo, but Lorenzo's answering. And meanwhile, Pichler has got to be thinking these guys are closing in on me. In fact, let's jump on with Lorenzo here. You see that gap to Pichler now. Whoa, he is right on him. These guys are just all bunched up now.
So Bettini's now getting the draft assist from Pichler in front. So leaving Bjorn in the dust. But it looks like Pichler gets a very good run onto the main straight. And he's away. Light hitting the red line for Bettini, but he's pulling out of the draft. He really needs to be under the rear wing to gain on the main straight. But hard on the brakes. He gains a lot coming into turn 1.
Similar to what Vandergeest was doing with Taylor, as he had a really good exit onto the straight. Here's Bjorn. So this is a nice three-way battle we're having here for the podium. Curious to see, Costas' last lap was a 119. His best is a 102, so the last lap of the 119, I wonder if he had an off, or it could have been lap traffic, but that seems to be pretty off pace at 119, even for going around a lap tomorrow.
Yeah, it could, if it was a pit stop, the first sector was a 21, when usually it's an 18, so maybe he did actually do a pit stop.
As we see someone pitting
As
now.
Bjorn,
Yes, he's
Bjorn
coming
is
in.
pitting?
Yes, so he's scraping off the wall. Look at that, they're all in the dirt. So, keep an eye on those tires for me, Woody. Let me know what he changes to, as this is going to help Pichler relax a little bit. But now, is he the undercut? I would say, but being on the softs, it might have just been out of necessity rather than a strategy.
He is back on the soft, so maybe he's splitting this race into 3, but he's got some clear air in front of him for quite some time. So he's probably one of 2 drivers, including the leader, Kansuris, that are going for a 2-stop strategy.
Right, and that was a really quick pit stop because there is no pit speed, right? So they can take their chances on however fast they want to go.
Yeah, it is just the entry of the pit lane that causes a little bit of a problem, but for the rest of the pit lane, they can floor it within reason. But the entry is a particular problem, and he was midway down the pit lane, so he was one of the lucky ones.
All right, this battle for 5th place. Taylor has once again caught Vandergeest, and he is putting the pressure on.
Kansuris with new tyres is now in the 1 minute range. So he is a class of the field at the moment. He's setting the pace. He's 20 seconds in the lead, still with a pit stop. As we see one of the arrows getting out of the way of a 6th place, 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, I believe that was Van Summers. We can see that Taylor is giving Vandergeest some mirror action. John can just keep it together. John's been very, very steady, though. Both of these guys have kept it together with that one little off by Taylor that kind of took him out, but it took him 5, 6, 7, 8 laps to catch up. And he's back at it again. As we got to keep our eye.
John Vandergeest is 2nd in the championship, and he's due to gain quite a few number of points on the leader. He's had a 4th place, a 3rd place, and unfortunately that 8th place last time out. So these points are going to be very, very useful.
And as we see, speaking of the leader, here he comes. So he has caught this group. And it looks like Taylor's letting him through. Vandergeest will be next.
So keeping an eye on the gap for Bjorn Hagman. Obviously, he might be on a different strategy to 2nd and 3rd, but he's lost 20 seconds in that pit stop. It's not an awful lot of time because of the straight pit lane, but it looks like maybe Pichler and Bettini are going for a 1-stop, so Hagman has got to make it up on the road with some clear air.
Yep, and with as many cars out, there's not a lot of traffic to help him either. is Vandergeest. Should be given some room here to let Costas through down the main straight.
I suppose a lot of it as well, we talked a little bit about engine modes and drivers turning it up and down, but you can imagine being under the rear wing, you could possibly do a little bit of lift and coast. And if you don't feel like you can get past, you could possibly stay behind someone and just lift off the throttle a little to save a bit more fuel for the end of the race push. Because there is a strategy to, you know, save a little bit of fuel in the start of the race and then go full boost for the remainder.
We have a battle for second as Lorenzo staying right with Pichler.
It looks like they're very well matched, but I think Pichler just gets a very good run onto the main straight, and Bettini just either washes wide or doesn't have the ability to stay as close as possible. He does get very close at that hairpin, so he's better on the brakes than Pichler, but they're running in the 103s, so quite a moderate pace. Nothing like we saw in qualifying, but I think he's closer than he ever has been through this final sector.
Let's see what happens here. The same thing. Pichler gets a good exit. See there, he just gets a little bit more of an advantage right there in that last section of that turn. But I think Lorenzo is close enough to get a little bit of a pull. As you can see, he's kind of getting pulled up a little bit, but just runs out of straight.
So even though these cars are matched in terms of power output, they still have driving characteristics. So some cars will probably be better on the brakes than others. So I wonder whether Bettini's car is a little bit better on the brakes, or perhaps Pichler is just taking it a little bit easier. We heard that there were brake failures last time out, and this course does have a couple of hard stopping points, so no one wants to have their brakes explode at the fastest point of the circuit. So I think John Vandergeest is probably crossing his fingers for that.
So Ben Summers finds himself again with a race coming up behind him as they head down the straight. Pulls over. Well, he's got a really good run on him this time. I think we're going to have an exchange. And Snow, he's making for that spot. Do we have a change in second place? Bettini just can't quite get it done.
I was thinking that he was looking at trying to go all the way around the outside, but I think turn one is particularly less grippy, and the car would probably just wash wide. So he took a little bit of a chance. Ben pulled off to one side, but Pichler already had the draft and had the overspeed. But that's as close as he's ever been so far.
He is right on him. Got a rear ring view from Pichler back to Lorenzo.
So you see that in the last corner, Lorenzo can keep it tight in the first part, but when he gets close to the car in front, it looks like he washes wide in the second part, and that's when you need to keep it pinned to have any chance of being under the rear wing. So I think drivers have probably got to be within 0.3 of the car in front to have a chance of to passing into turn one. And if no one gives up that inside line, then it's going to be very difficult to pass.
Well, we're almost halfway. Oh, and he takes a dive. He's looking on the inside corner there. Very close to having some contact there. As Bettini takes a look to the inside on the left-hander.
Ed Jones is off at the edge of your pit lane. I wonder whether he's had an engine failure. It looked like he was stopped at the pit lane. So that looks like another retirement. Ed Jones, the tyre whisperer, has DNF'd.
And Ben Summers just had an off too, but he's back on track, luckily. He's got to run. Fischer's keeping the inside. Does he have enough on the outside? Once again, Fischler maintains holding that inside line.
It looks like John Van der Geest may have had enough. He's now relinquished the place to Robin Taylor.
He has, hasn't he? And by quite a gap now. Well, that must have been the case. We have, I think, 7 cars remaining. Holy smokes. 10 are out. Attrition rate is very high here in France.
The Ganserus has now got a 40-second lead, and that's including a pit stop as John Van der Geest comes into the pits.
All right, Van der Geest.
This is half distance as well.
Very good. All right. Well, let's see what happens now. I'm hoping that Lorenzo and Fischler pit together so that we can keep this battle going.
Remember, I was keeping an eye on Bjorn Hagman. Remember, it was 21 seconds. Now it's 10. Bjorn Hagman has made significant progress from 4th with a pit stop.
And these guys are yet to stop, so that could have been the undercut. Could pay off for him if he can make those softs go the rest of the way. Because he will have to extend them past halfway, as he pitted earlier than halfway. So he's definitely making time. What is his, let's see, his fastest lap of the race so far? His last was a 102.7. His fastest was a 102.1. Let's see, Lorenzo, 103 and 104. So definitely had a second advantage on those last few laps. Like you said, he's got clear track, so he is just hot lapping.
And I'm keeping an eye on pit lane because now we've had the first of the one-stoppers. I believe John perhaps came into the pits not because he had an accident. Maybe it was his scheduled pit stop, but it is half distance, so I'm maybe expecting the one-stoppers to be pitting now.
We shall see, as we are on board with Lorenzo. Wow, the gap is now 8. So you're right, Bjorn is on fire and is catching these guys almost a second a lap at this point in time. They're putting in 104s, Lorenzo, and 102s by Bjorn. So you can see by the track map that they're going to share the straight.
Fischler is pitting from 2nd.
Yes. So 2nd place comes in. As he has to cut across. Oh, he does have that first stall and he had to cut across. So 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, 1,006. So about 6 seconds of tire and he's back out.
So this now releases Bettini to put in fast laps in hope for an overcut. But we'll have to see what kind of sectors Philip can put in on colder tyres, but I am keeping an eye on Bettini, whether he enters pit lane on the nearest opportunity. Does he want to pounce now, or does he want to put some clean sectors together?
And in the meantime, Bjorn is now on the podium. That stop put Fischler behind Bjorn, so the timing of that, I mean, if Fischler would have pitted when there was still a 20-second gap, he might have been able to hold on to that position. But with only an 8-second gap, that was it. The undercut has worked for Bjorn. Now he just has to hang on with tire wear. So let's see what kind of laps Bettini will be putting in now, because I bet you he's probably due for some tires as well.
He pretty much matched his best lap time last time out, so now he's got clear air. He can put in high 103s, but he's going to need to go a little bit faster if he's going to match Fischler, because Fischler has put in 103s 0.7 for his best. His out lap was a 107.8, so next lap around should be a little bit faster, but we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Right, I'm trying to. Oh, Lorenzo almost lost it there. Got a little bit of a moment in that sector 3. See what kind of lap he puts up as he's coming across the finish now. Not his best, a 104, not that good. And Hagman with a 102, so still gaining. Now Vandergoose has caught the back of Fischler and gone around. No? Who is? And Fischler maintains.
Van der Geest, I believe. Van der Geest, I think he's a lap down
you're
from
right.
Fischler, so yeah.
Yes. I thought, I was going, what the heck? And Fischler just put him down that lap. It's 2 laps.
Bjorn Hagman is 3 seconds from Bettini after that his early pit stop. So I wonder whether Bettini's not particularly putting any quick sectors in. Is he deciding to go to the end?
Bettini?
No, he's
Nope,
coming
he's
into the
coming
pits.
in now. All right. So that's going to give Bjorn second. And let's see what happens now with Fischler. Fischler's coming through the parabolic now. Bettini's rolling. There goes Fischler. He is having a tough go here. This is an extremely long stop for Fischler. Not allowed to fuel. Maybe he had some damage?
Yeah, perhaps. That just seemed he should have been out in about 6 or 7 seconds, so
I
he's
agree.
lost 2 places in that pit stop.
$133. Wow. That's just goes to show you how these strategies will pay out.
I mean, maybe he had some accident damage from the start line accident. Maybe he just clipped some of the spinning cars. But unfortunate if he maybe he can go a bit faster now. He's fixed some of the damage, but he's still in the top 4.
Fischler probably relieved to be on the podium still after that. But I think Bjorn, has the play of the day so far with that on softs, sticking on softs, pitting early. The undercut really worked out well for him. And perhaps if Fischler or Bettini maybe should have followed up on the undercut right away and might have been able to hold on to those positions. But waiting till that gap got down to well within a pit stop gap, that 8 seconds, it was far gone conclusion that he was going to be out in front of him.
So we could probably expect Hagman to come in around lap 60 if he really is going for a 2-stopper. Soft tyres would suggest that it's a 2-stopper, but along with the leader, who has got a massive advantage, who can take it really easily, we'll have to see if what the 2-stopper versus the 1-stopper is going to end up. Because these second, third, and fourth were nose to tail before the pit stops. So what's it going to be like in the final stint?
Right. As you can see by the track map that Costas is not too far back to lapping second place, Bjorn. He's got 61 seconds on him. And his last lap was a 1:01 was Costas and a 1:02.7 for Bjorn. So Costas just dominating this from the start. It's so unfortunate that we lost Lars and Smythe in that beginning.
And I do wonder as well about what setup options people have gone for, because sectors 2 and 3 are all crests and corners. So I wonder whether a few people have gone with a lot of downforce to keep the car together in sectors 2 and 3 and sacrifice the straight, whether other people may have gone the opposite.
Well, so far the only action we're going to have is Bjorn lapping Ben Summers as he's closing in. Ben, who's holding on to that 7th spot and final spot of the remaining car. So all he's got to do is finish. He's going to get a nice handful of points.
So if they've been thinking about it in terms of championship as well, Kanzouras is not really near the top. He's had a couple of rounds where, particularly the second round, he came away with 20th place because he got caught up in that start line melee at Kyalami. He's had a third and he's had a win last time out. So this will be the first double winner we've had all season. So if Costas can keep it going, he will be the first driver to have 2 wins on the board. Lars Hagman, first in the championship at the moment. He has a win and 2 second places, so he's not been off the podium. And again, John van der Geest has been on the podium once, got a 4th place and an 8th. And Philip Pichler in 3rd place in the championship has come away with a 4th, a 5th and a 7th. So this will be more points in the bag to perhaps move Pichler up to 2nd in the championship.
As we watch Costas yet put down Ben Summers yet another lap down. I believe 5 laps ahead is Pichler. I mean is Costas.
I'm also looking at lap times as well of 3rd and 4th. So Pichler and Bettini, now they're both not under the rear wing of each other, or the front wing under the rear wing. They've been able to get some clear air and they're now putting in 101s. So fresh tyres on a probably a more grippy track than we had at the start, and there's less cars on track to get in the way. So they're really putting in some fast lap times, but unfortunately that pit stop error, we believe, by Bettini has dropped him back 14 or 15 seconds, so he's got a bit of catching up to do. 4th place on the road's not too bad.
Yeah, he's about a half a second faster on those last laps, so 101.8 to a 102.4. As Summers had a little bit of an off there, Pichler now about ready to put him down. As we see Costas gaining on 2nd place. That's not going to make Bjorn very happy, but 2nd is better than 3rd and better than last.
Yeah, I think he's probably ruining the because he was getting chased hard in the early laps by I believe it was Costas, and he made that mistake in sector 2 and just ran wide onto the gravel, and that put him down the order. So he definitely has the pace, but again, I think Kanzouras is a second a lap faster than anybody on track at the moment. So he's got this car hooked up, and he's about to lap 2nd place.
He lets him through on the inside. Yet you can just see the speed difference is really amazing there. So perhaps it is a setup. You know, Costas preparing nicely for this race. Obviously, he has the car to beat today, and I don't think anybody's going to beat him without him beating himself.
So if we're thinking in terms in what these real cars are, they are balanced up to a point, but they still are modelled after their real-world counterparts. Now Costas, even though he's running a custom skin, he is in the Brabham, which was apparently one of the most powerful cars in this stage of Grand Prix back in 1984. So a very powerful and a very interesting-looking vehicle with the side pods a bit swooped back like it's a plane. Bjorn Hagman is in the Renault, and the Renault was one of the first cars that started with turbo technology, so they were first to try and jump on board with what was possible. It was very, let's say, not effective when they first put it out. I don't think they finished a single race, but the technology proved successful. Turbos were the thing for a number of years, and then back in the I think it was 86 and 87, they reverted back to naturally aspirated engines. So they had their moment, and I think Grand Prix racing now does have some turbo, but it's a lot more advanced than it was back then. We normally hear from drivers back then of the turbo lag, step on the throttle and then wait and wait and wait. But nowadays they seem to have eliminated that problem. But 1200 horsepower was the number quoted for the Brabhams back then. But interesting technology, even back in the 80s. I think even the third place car of Pichler, he's running in the Tyrrell, blue and red Tyrrell. I believe it was run by Stefan Johansson in 1984. Again, it has that swoop back side pod design. Bettini is in what I believe is the Acela, which runs an Alfa Romeo, and he's just coming up to lap. I think that's John Van der Geest. So John Van der Geest is a lap down from 4th place at the moment.
Get a good look at that Bettini's car there. Yes, he is definitely letting him through. And Van der Geest will be very content with 5th place after the events of the day. Just gotta hang on. Under 20 laps remaining, I believe, right? Or is it 23 laps?
Around 23 or so laps. I mean, if you're not familiar with Grand Prix racing, I mean, you would recognise the Ferrari. That's the car that John Van der Geest is in. I mean, who doesn't recognise the Ferrari? And then you have Robin Taylor in the old and black JPS Lotus that was in the hands of, I believe it was Nigel Mansell and it wasn't Eddie Cheever, it was DeAngelis, I believe, 1986. And then we dropped to Ben Summers that's in I believe the Arrows BMW. So a bit of a mid-range car back then, but you see that every single car has a different car shape, a different interpretation of the rules. That's why I like this era. They were really pushing the boundaries of aero, engine performance. I mean, there was a lot of failures back then, lots of engine blow-ups and stuff like that. But just the creativity, I believe, is on show.
We've got a challenge. Oh, and contact. Both cars, Van der Geest and Taylor, were battling for that spot. Taylor had caught him. They just did have contact. Van der Geest also off. Van der Geest, I believe, is waiting as he did, unless he has damage. But somebody else got caught in the mix there. Was it Summers? Yeah, Summers lost his wing. So I believe Van der Geest is in trouble. Van der Geest is peeling out and more contact. So there is some serious damage going on. As now we have Taylor taking over 5th for Van der Geest. Van der Geest looks like he has some damage. Apparently trying to turn the car there. He lost it. You see if he can hang on. We're on board with him now as Taylor runs away. Taylor had a brilliant run down the straight and had caught him, and they just went to the outside. Van der Geest blocked the inside and just made a little bit of contact, and looks like Taylor went around, and I think Van der Geest had some damage and was waiting for him as well. But Van der Geest has got to be pulling into the pits here for some damage. So once again, Van der Geest having troubles late on as he does come into the pits. He's probably got suspension damage after that contact, and I believe Summers also lost the front wing during that exchange. There's a little bit of confusion there as a pass attempt was made.
Yeah, I did have a look at the incident. It looks like Taylor did send one up the inside in turn one, and I think maybe John thought that he wasn't as far along as he was because Taylor made contact with the side pod of Van der Geest, and I think that maybe Ben Summers is sharing a pit stop with Van der Geest, so unfortunately Ben Summers is going to have to wait.
That would be odd. I mean, you would think they would be in the same car types, would have shots, but I think you're right. Van der Geest, both of them having damage, but I guess the lesser of the evils for Ben is that he isn't going to lose any positions.
Yeah, and now John is out the pits now, so Ben can have his front wing
Watch
put
that
back on.
unfold there. Now Van der Geest just losing the one spot. And I wonder if Taylor got any suspension damage from the contact too, or where John might be able to catch him, but I believe he's too far back now.
Yeah, Robin Taylor put in the last lap was a 102.8, so it doesn't seem to have slowed him down. I think it looked very minor contact for Taylor, but maybe John got the worst of it. Maybe John's damage was colliding with Summers. But as I say, Summers didn't lose any positions, and unfortunately Van der Geest dropped just the one.
Yeah, it did look like John was waiting for him, like he felt like maybe he turned in on him, but I think, like you said, Taylor sent it right up the inside. Well, it's only a 3 or 4 point differential at that back in these stages, despite 5th, 6th, 7th separated.
And I mean, as long as there's no kind of restriction on whether they finish or not. As soon as you take the start, you're going to gain points. So, and I mean, at the moment we've got 7 finishers, and I'm wondering whether Ben Summers is still in the pit. So I don't know why it's taking so long to. Maybe he had suspension damage or something.
He didn't have a.
He's definitely not refueling. I just noticed that Cancerous in the lead has now put in a lap time of 59.5 for the first time in this race. He's now decided to turn up the boost, perhaps, if he wasn't going fast enough already.
Probably a little bit lighter on fuel, too, as we're down to, under 20 laps.
And that battle we were checking out earlier between Pichler and Bettini. Bettini is still within around 13 seconds. And these two guys do have, I believe they've done their pit stops. And just remember that Bjorn Hagman has one pit stop to do. Bjorn Hagman in second place, with Pichler only 18 seconds behind. And from calculations before, he lost about 21 in the pit stop. So as long as Bjorn Hagman doesn't have any trouble, he's going to be on fresh tyres with about 20 or so laps to go, with 20 seconds to catch up.
Yeah, and I'm curious if Bjorn is even going to go for that stop. I mean, he might try to finish on these softs.
That is true. That is true. I mean, it's going to be very, very close when he comes into the pits. It's not. He won't have to make up 20 seconds. He'll have to make up about 2 or 3, but that's within reach. But we did see the second, third, and fourth at the start of the race. Even though they were nose to tail, they found it very difficult to get close. But as you said, fuel level has come down. The cars are lighter, but the only difference between Pichler and Bjorn Hagman is going to be tyre compound and the freshness of tyres as well.
So, did Costas? I thought he already passed Bjorn. Second place, because he's behind him again now. So did Bjorn already make a pit stop?
Just checking the pit stops at the moment to see who has pitted and who hasn't. I believe the only person that we know of that's on a two-stopper are first and second. And Kanzurus has pitted twice. And Hagman has yet to pit for a second time. So,
So it
and
was
Pichler,
Costas.
Bettina, yeah. So Costas has pitted for a second time.
That's what put Bjorn back in front. And we missed it. Just because he's a day and a half ahead of everybody.
I think I've been watching fourth place Bettini in the Alfa Romeo. He's been gaining little bits on Pichler, maybe just pacing himself to the end. But Bettini's not slowing down. He's within 12 seconds, and that gap is edging ever closer. But that's a lot to make up in the final. What are we? Nearly just over 20 laps, perhaps.
And Pichler did just put in a 101, and we'll see what Lorenzo has here, a 102, a 101.8. So he's pacing about the same lap times as Philip on that last lap anyway. They were like hundredths apart. A 101.880 to a 101.847, so 47 100ths. That's even measurable. And some are still in the
I think these drivers are probably looking forward to, we've had a range of different circuits on this calendar so far. So we've had places like Kyalami, which were pretty much flat out for a lot of the sweepers, with only a couple of second gear corners. Again, Dijon has been very, very similar, but we're going to be heading to Monza. Monza is going to be the 90s layout, which personally it's not the layout that I like because it contains too many chicanes, but if we know anything about the 80s and 90s, they had lots of curves at the track which are too high to ride over. So back then it wasn't a case of bumping over the curves that they do now. It's a case of the curb is where the track edge is. You don't touch the curb. So you've got to be very careful of the curbs. These cars need to stay flat down to the track in order to stick. So we're going to have to see what Monza's like. But then in the sixth round, we're going to head to probably one of the fastest circuits, which is Hockenheim. So plenty of straights, split up by only 3 or 4 chicanes. So I expect to see people just filling up with fuel and then going full boost for the entire race. But hopefully we don't have any start line accidents like we did today, because that has spoiled things a little. But it does shake up the championship, and I am looking forward to what the last 2 rounds in terms of points will entail.
Good points there. Yeah, and that is the historic Hockenheim, isn't it? So it's a long way around. Lots of pedals to the metal.
So it does look like Ben Summers is still stationary, and his car is overheating while stationary in the pits.
You see him there smoking away.
I'm wondering whether he's just thinking that he was only going to be getting 7th because he was several laps down on the cars in front. So I'm wondering whether he's sticking it out until the end and maybe trying to get out pits for the final quarter of this race.
12 laps remaining. As we see the leader getting around Van der Geest at some point in time.
I imagine that Kanzurus has been out in the lead for the majority of this race. He doesn't seem to have let off the gas at all. To keep concentration for the entire race when you haven't really been lapping anyone for position. You've just been trying to get through these lap cars, you know, keep your nose clean, don't make any mistakes. It must be hard to keep concentration up. Whereas everyone behind him has had to deal with lap cars and you know, races for position. So he's been out on his own since the first 2 laps of this race.
Yeah, that driver fatigue might be setting in as he finally gets around Vandergeest. Taylor will be next for the leader to pass. We just about got 11 laps to go here. If you can catch him in that 11 laps. And Bettini, a little bit better last lap on Pichler. Closed that gap to about 11.7. I think he's just going to run out of time.
So I think as well, we talked a bit about what points are going to be gained by some of these drivers. They're going to have to make the most of it. We know for a fact that Ed Jones, currently 6th in the championship, went out quite early with a retirement. We're missing a few drivers that are going to drop down the order. Smythe was also involved in that start line accident, but our round 2 winner, Tao Vitier, is absent at the moment. He can only take part in not too many races, but the race that he did take part in, round 2, he won. We are missing Van Rongen as well, but hopefully a few drivers can join us for the next round, because they should be competitive.
Well, I've just heard from the chat that it seems like Ben was out of fuel, and you can't refuel in this race. So the reason he's stationary, I believe, is that he can't get any fuel in his car. That's posted in the chat by Bjorn Ackerman.
Yep, back then in 1984, these cars did not have refueling, I believe. It was around 83. It was on the cusp of maybe refueling, maybe not, I can't remember. But this mod specifically doesn't have any refueling capability.
Similar to the modern F1 as it is today, you got to take what you need. And if you get it wrong, you'll be sitting in the pits like Summers is. I wonder, Ben had to know that going in, if that is truly the reason. And thanks for that, by the way, Bjorn. That little tidbit of info in the live chat there. And Ben hasn't burst into flames yet, but he is smoking along there.
So again, this is going to be good points for a couple of newcomers to the series. So, as I said, Bettini, this was his first round, and it's a good scoring opportunity for 4th place. Taylor is his first round of the championship, joining a bit late. And he will be scoring 5th place. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but 5th place is a good place to start.
Right, I mean, this is the halfway point. There are 2 more races after this, so.
But there's certainly a few drivers I think that would be glad to see the back of this course.
Yes.
Oh, as you say it, Ben is now on fire.
Oh no.
Get out, Ben! Get out!
Another one bites the dust. So this, what appears to be a battle for 4th and 5th, is a lap apart battle. So there is no battle, but at least they are racing together. 5th place, Robin Taylor. Caught the tail end of Bettini there. A little bit of trouble for Bettini. maybe he just got around Taylor because that's why his last lap was a 103 before Bettini. Fischler's was a 102.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Taylor has dropped on 2 laps from 4th place there. I mean, Bettini and the drivers ahead are 1 second a lap faster. So I'm wondering maybe the speed of this track and the amount of laps we've had. Maybe he's been able to get those laps, but the unfortunate collision with John van der Geest had set him back a little, but not by 2 laps. But he's staying ahead of John van der Geest by 30 seconds, and I think Ben Summers is going to stay in the pit smoking away the 2nd place.
Yes. And the lap before this last one, Taylor had a 120, so he must have had some kind of an incident, if he not pitted. And Costas, or Bjorn rather, has not pitted, correct? He's still out there.
Indeed, yeah. Maybe he is going for the strategy that you said earlier, that maybe he's going to try and stretch his tyres to the end.
Got 5 laps
He is still
to go.
putting in 102s, so it's a moderate pace, and he's got 14 seconds on 3rd place, so he might as well try it.
Yeah. Four to go next time. Costas is about to cross the line now for lap 75. 4 to go.
So looking at the tyres as well, it looks like we were very skeptical about the tyre choice at the start, but it does look like the soft tyres was the way to go.
Yeah, those guys are proving it. And with maybe a little bit of skill involved there too to keep those tires.
I mean, we will find out about what happened on the start line, because all I saw was a stopped car and a few people that looked like they were unsighted behind cars in front. So unfortunate that it took out about 3 or 4 cars at the start. But attrition has been particularly egregious at this circuit, and I don't know what it is about this circuit that has meant that a lot more drivers are making mistakes. Those tire barriers have been magnets this time around.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like my reconnaissance laps, it's just tough. The off-camber turns with the weight of the car, it just makes it tough to push. So if you're pushing at all, you're risking it. But I mean, we lost Lars, Jacob Smythe, Matesh, Randy Merrick, all those guys were out, within 10 laps. First 3 guys were in the championship, and they didn't even get a lap in. So, curious to see.
So they're going to come away with minuscule points, and particularly the championship leader. I don't know whether I want to tempt fate and try and noting down the provisional points, but I'm going to try.
Well, it's been an event. And like you say, Monza in 2 weeks is going to be something else too.
Plenty of drafting down the back straight of Monza and the front straight, and just hanging on through the chicanes.
Right.
And I believe because it's the 90s layout, some of the chicanes are quite tricky to get through. It's nothing like the 60s version that has no chicanes, and you just have to hang it on. But I'm thinking that it's probably not going to be under 1 minute. It's probably going to be a bit of a slower lap time. But we'll have to see whether drivers can stay under the rear wing of each other. We've only got now 2 laps to go.
I thought we'd never get to this point.
What were the technical difficulties?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The day started off with some issues, and then Yeah, the race had issues.
I mean,
Start had
thanks to our admins, John Van der Geest, he's obviously driving at the moment, but he was able to get us started back up in quick time when the server had a bit of a hiccup. But we got back up and running and got Ollie running, and we got a race.
Indeed. Costas has just gotten around Taylor. And he will cross the line with 1 to go. And he has just had a brilliant race today. All right, I believe the white flag is out. Makes his way through the treacherous Sector 2 for the last time. Definitely been the class of the field today, lapping all the way to second place. Dominant performance by Costas Gatsaros today. Here it is as he's taking the checkered. There is your round 4 winner, Costas Gatsaros, doing it in style. Or is that one more to go? Was that the white flag?
No, that is the finish.
Yeah, my broadcast is saying last lap now. For my overlay.
Unless we're wrong, it's he doesn't seem to be doing a very slow cooldown lap. But
No,
maybe it is now the last lap.
Uh-oh, what's going on with Taylor? Taylor's cashed it in as this fits over. And yeah, Van der Geest and Summers, Taylor in the pits. His 4th place crosses the line. Here. Yeah, it was over. He's pulling into the pits now. You were right.
He was just making sure.
Yeah, exactly. And he will take it in pit lane. So there it is. Session results. You can see Costas Gatsaros 79 laps. Bjorn Hagman 78 laps. And his brother victim of that start in last. And then Philip Pitchler on the podium in 3rd place, nicely done. And Lorenzo Bettini getting a 4th place, nice points, 78 laps. So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th were all on the same lap, it appears. And then Robin Taylor, at 75 laps, coming in 5th with Van der Geest 6th. Ben Summers in 7th as the DNFs start. Ed Jones in 8th, Ele Mansourov and Bruno Pagiola. Then bringing up the tail end, we got Freddie Hell, Michael Lavelle, Randy Merrick, Vitesse Escobar, Shields De Silva, and Jacob Smythe. So, wow, that was something else, Woody. I'm telling you, that start, it's very frustrating, I think, for some of these guys when that happens.
Yeah, I've got the provisional points for you. So it does seem that Lars Hagman has held on to his lead in the championship by just 2 points.
Wow.
He now has 119. I expected him to drop down a bit further than that, unless I've got my maths a bit wrong. But it's the first time he's been off the podium all season. Kanzouris is in 2nd and moved himself up to 2nd place with 117. It is very close for 3rd with Philip Pichler with 115. John Van der Geest is now dropped down to 4th with 111. Bjorn Hagman is in 5th with 107. And then we have Ed Jones, Ben Summers, Jacob Smythe, Ollie Bateson, and Mark Hightree rounding out the top 10.
Wow, and Hightree didn't even race today, so some of those guys were not even in. Interesting. Okay, well, I have to say, it was something else. I'm glad we got it off. A little bit of stuff at the, the beginning there with the game crash, but we got back into it, finished quali, and got this race under our belt. So with that said, we are out of here. I want to thank everybody that hung out. We'll watch it for us, and we look forward to 2 weeks from now at Monza. So stay tuned, and we hope to see you there. All right. Adios from here.